Hey guys, today we're going to talk about the Wowtac A2. Now this is the Black Scout Survival version. They offered to send me this and I agreed. And you know guys, in all honesty, at first I decided like, nah, I'm not going to do it. I thought about it for a couple days and decided to review anyway because this is pretty much essentially the same light. It just has a few added features at a little bit of extra cost. So what I wanted to do is we've already reviewed the lights. We know the functionality. We're going to go over the differences between this and the regular light so that you can make a good educated decision about whether the changes are worth the extra $10 that they're charging. So we're going to zoom out of here. It won't be long. You're going to start seeing some footage of this being rolled in. Actually, this came at a very opportune time. This came just before the end of the season here where a lot of things start to close. So I actually took this on a flashlight safari at one of the local zoos. So you're actually going to be able to see some footage of this being used kind of realistically. Both with the red filter and not. So let's go over this real quick. Very typical as far as the Wowtac. I'm sorry, it's A1S. What am I thinking? A1S V2, not A2. Rear switch to turn it on and off. Your side switch to change between modes. Simple, easy. A single 18650 battery comes with that rechargeable USB rechargeable battery and a few other little nice features. So what's changed, as you can tell right off the bat, we have this red filter, which this red filter comes out very easily. You just unscrew it. You can see it threads in there. And yeah, now another option you get with this light is the attack bezel. Look at that. The light just got all that much more scarier, huh? Isn't that crazy? You're also going to get a USB cable and some spare O-rings. So we'll get this stuff out of the way. Alright, so you get the two, basically the extra filter and the bezel that comes with the light. You can see, we'll turn that on. It's actually pretty awkward looking with that on. Alright, so what else has changed? Not much else. There is now an option where if you triple click the rear end, you get a strobe. Double click brings you to turbo, triple click brings you to strobe. So you do have that instant access to those, and that is something to pay attention to. Now we're going to take this ugly thing off right now. Alright, hopefully we got some nice footage rolling in here. Alright, so is this worth it? To me, absolutely not. For me, my use, I think it's a complete and total waste of $10. I would rather go out and buy a nice 18650 for that money and have a nice spare battery. The red lens I think is the most useful of things. As you can see on that flashlight safari, it was kind of nice to be able to have a bright light, but also a light that didn't kind of like shine right in those animals' faces, so it was kind of nice. As far as using this at night, you don't want to destroy your night vision, anything like that. Not a bad option to have at all. The fact that it threads in and permanently attaches is also nice. A lot of red filters literally just snap over the end of the light and they fall off and whatever. So it is nice that you have this option and it threads into that little recess there. So as it threads in there, you don't have to worry so much about it getting caught on things or falling off or anything like that. So it is pretty cool. Construction is what you'd expect out of Wowtac, which is pretty much through night quality. And yeah, alright. Now this attack bezel. This is the most ridiculous thing. I don't know what Black Scout Survival's thinking. Number one, it's completely impractical. And number two, it's not made of stainless steel. So right there we got an issue with that. If you're going to be using something as an impact device, aluminum is very soft. And to have this aggressive of a thing on here, you know, that isn't going to last. If you really had to use that, those are just going to bend over And you know, especially if you're going to be training with a light and working with it as part of your EDC, you know, you need it to be tough and rugged. And I'm just being honest here, but this is not stainless steel. It's not going to last like it should for its intended purpose. So I think it's a complete and total waste. All right, let's talk about that functionality, the additional strobe and turbo. Now, being this does have a momentary option because it is a forward clicky switch. So that basically means you can press the button part way. It is nice because you do have that option, and adding that is nice. You know, I like having that quick access to strobe and turbo. You know, you just do your, and then click it into locking it in place. But here's the thing, when you're using this as a tactical light, the capability of you to basically hit that, you know, correct amount of times, the 2 or 3 times under stress or pressure, isn't going to happen. Let's just be honest. Anyone who's ever been in a situation, a real emergency, knows that your hand-eye coordination goes really, really quick, and the idea of taking this in some kind of cigar hold and getting it 3 times within the allocated amount of time you're given to do it is going to be near impossible. So that is not instant strobe as far as I'm concerned. You know, I understand, you know, they wanted someone to kind of revamp this and come up with a little bit of a premium version, but in the end, it's just not worth the money to me because the strobe isn't instant access, even though they call it instant access. It's not instant, and your odds of screwing that up in a situation, I mean, think about this, guys. Someone breaks into your house, you need that strobe right now. You're like, hey, 1, 2, 3. No, it's not going to happen. So I think that's a miss. I think the this bezel is a miss. You know, I'm really not too crazy about that. That will literally never get used ever. So in the end, it's like a bunch of things I'm really not going to use, and in the end, I'm really just going to kind of stick with the regular version of the light. But guys, you know, you may not be like me. That bezel may be important to you. You may like the looks of it, you know, but for me, I don't want that in my pocket, digging into my legs. I don't want, you know, worrying about bending that over every time I drop it. It's just not, you know. I like the red filter. Great idea on having that threaded end, because in the end, you know, if they do stick with that threaded end, you know, and they keep that machining and continue to do that, it will be a very good option to add multiple attachments as time goes on, different color filters, different bezels. You know, there's a lot you can do because of the fact that they've now added that. So I think that is a great idea, and as time goes on, if Wowtac continues making these and updating them over time, what you're going to see is some pretty cool additions. But for my $10, guys, it's just not worth it to me. And maybe to you guys. I know you guys are all different. We all have completely different needs that we have. But for me, you know, it's a great light. I don't need that extra stuff for $10. I'm happy with the regular version at the lower price.